of the things that we've tried to do in the department is to work in an interdisciplinary way and for students to get exposure to a lot of different artists.
The row galleries try to focus on bringing in artists that are doing different things. So we're like a haven for experimentation and artists that are pushing the barriers.
I was particularly interested as a ceramist to bring in people who were working with clay and to give students a wider exposure to what's going on out there in the ceramic world.
We started working together in 2005, so we've been doing collaborative installations as part of a complement to our own individual studio practices. Each time we've been invited to do an installation, we try to look at how the work we make might complement the location and also some of our interests. So for Charlotte, we were very interested in the nickname of Charlotte, the Hornet's Nest.
In the installation course, we are learning how to interact with the space.
The concept of the work began collecting found objects that were no longer in need.
As a student body, we were able to donate different types of found objects.
In order to bring in our skills as a ceramic artist and also our love for ceramics, we decided to take our found objects and physically dip them into a slip.
Which is a very thick, velvety, soft porcelain, kind of like melted ice cream.
That unifies the multiples and also makes many different types of white.
And clay itself has these distinct shifts it goes through time. The color changes and the value changes and the surface and textural changes are something that we can achieve in this type of work that's very different than fired ceramic work. The students have been helping us form some of the first building blocks to get the sculpture started, and as we move through the process, they're immersing the objects into the slip. Then we begin attaching those pieces to the wall and looking at the composition as we go.
They decided to title the show Evergreen Vespiary, and vespiary is another word for a nest.
A wasp or hornet doesn't build the nest by itself, it does so as a colony. So the students have really been part of the process from the very beginning through the construction of the actual piece.
So my senior year of high school, I decided that I wanted to go to school for dance, but not just dance, but dance education as well. And when I came here to visit the school and apply for the incoming freshman scholarship, I really liked this school. I really enjoyed the studios and the professors and what they had to offer, so this is the school I ended up choosing.
I auditioned at quite a few different schools, but this one it drew me here because of Dr. Ariola. I had heard a lot about him and I was really impressed by him and his work and his voice. I really liked this department and what it had to offer the most out of every school I went to.
The day that we came there was actually the spring concert, and so we got to watch, and I really liked what I saw, and I knew I was going to go here. It was just the best of both worlds. It was in-state and a good price and had dance, what I was looking for.
I first came to the Robinson Hall when I went on the scholarship tour because I received the theater scholarship my sophomore year here. And we got to see the Belk Theater, which was absolutely beautiful. And then also seeing the Black Box, which was really beautiful, and seeing how versatile it is. It made me very excited to work in this space.
One of the things that really motivated me to join UNC Charlotte was how close it was, how it's really anybody's reach, financially speaking. And once I started looking into the music program, they had one of the professors who I wanted to study with, which was Rick Dior. And that was one of the biggest things that got me into the music department.
My friend was actually part of the trainee program at North Carolina Dance Theater, and she told me about how they have a program with UNC Charlotte's dance department. So I decided to go on and audition for that and apply for the school, and I made it into both programs, and after a little while of trying to decide which college to choose, I chose this one, and I'm so glad I did.
Our investigation into architecture and disjunction served as the background introduction to Shumi's principles.
Bernard Schumi talks a lot about the word disjunction and taking a space, taking what it's used for, and inverting that.
The faculty in the second year studios and in the beginning grad studios got together. We gave a couple of lectures and had the students read essays that Schumi had written. Then the idea was to make a full-size installation in the salon based on the theories that Schumi expounds in his writings and lectures.
This whole activity within the studio has been interesting because it's our very first experience as a group effort.
For Betsy West's studio, we focused on her office as well as the adjacent office. We wanted to create a disjunction with the views from their windows.
By doing very little, in this case you add a screen and a light, you completely change the nature of the space itself.
Primarily in his book, Red is Not a Color, he describes red as being something that is the function of architecture. Red is the functionality, and red is the architecture of the slide.
At first, the confessional was kind of a, haha, but then we started delving into it, and it was very multivalent, how many different layers that fit into Shumi's actual principles.
Shumi's work makes us question architecture and the effects that architecture can have on a person.
It's really about feeling and understanding that change in the space.
Having Bernard Schumi actually come and look at the stuff that we make is an honor because he's probably the greatest living theoretician in architecture today.
It's one thing to hope that we've read and we understand him. It's another thing to get his personal critique of what we've done and how we've interpreted his work.
It's pretty dense theoretical information, so we were really proud that they were challenged by it. We feel like the more voices the students are exposed to, the richer their education is going to be.
All 4 groups work simultaneously in the abstract conceptualization and in its materialization. And that's quite incredible. Congratulations.
Combining all the things that we've learned, like I've gotten to take lighting design, so I have an appreciation for, how the light hits you when you're on stage, and running crew, I've learned, how to hook up on a headset and hear all these different things and follow what the stage manager has to say and everything. So there's like multiple experiences within the department that really teach you just how much goes into a production.
We get a lot of experience performing here. They have us perform once a semester in recital class for the entire studio. We get at least 8 chances to perform in front of a pretty big audience solo-wise. And then I love being involved with opera because that's something a lot of vocalists, are really aiming for.
Well, we're required to do ballet and modern pretty much every semester, so that's what I mainly focus on. And then electives, we have vintage jazz, contemporary jazz, tap, improvisation, choreography. So I've done all of those.
Dr. Andrew Hartley, he worked with us on the Shrew project, and one of the main things when we were doing this piece is he did not want us to perform anything or say any lines that we did not know the meaning of, and so we worked very long understanding, comprehending the text, not just our cut version of the text, but the actual whole Taming of the Shrew.
Studying with Rick, it's really fun. I love the fact that he's always willing to help you become the best musician you can be. He's always a kind of person that's pushing you to the next level, which is one of the things I really enjoy. So I have played with a lot of ensembles. It's a lot of fun getting a lot of experience from different ensembles, whether it's a big band or percussion or just sitting back as a percussionist and just playing triangle and waiting for 42 measures.
When I first started here, I thought that giving a good performance was being as close to natural conversation and human interaction as possible. But coming into my second semester, I've realized that giving a good performance is about truth, because it's not about just you, it's about how you interact with the person you're on stage with.
The course is called Graphic Design Projects. It's a senior level course for graphic design major BFA students. And for the past 4 years, we've had a focus on community engagement. We're interested in developing abilities as civic citizens through graphic design. This semester, the class is trying something new. They're working with the McCall Center visiting artist, Crystal M. Nelson.
What I've been working on in Charlotte is historical narratives that I believe are significant to the city's development that have been erased or obscured or somehow delegitimized.
Crystal brings a media background to the course, and to me that's a really exciting risk, to be in the classroom with students and be talking about storytelling ideas through video, and that's very important for Crystal. She's really been able to help them see the narrative possibilities.
The residency program in our department entails the artist who applies to McCall for the residency with UNC Charlotte, art department specifically. Once they've applied, then we ask them some questions about how they view themselves as not only an artist who's going to be here to interact with students, but how they see themselves as an instructor.
We had to choose a community to research and create promotional pieces for. So I chose women's strength training. What I want to do is create these videos of women working out, like real women just in there sweating, no makeup, nothing, you know, just nitty-gritty.
I just really enjoy watching young people make creative discoveries and like figure out what they know how to do innately can be applied, particularly in a community, and also to help them rethink what it means to even work in design.
I feel like Crystal has influenced us a lot in thinking more conceptually and outside of the box, not just the way that we've been trained to think with advertisement and, you know, promotion and marketing and all this stuff. So I want to try something a little different with my videos.
I'm always thinking about future viewers, future readers. Who's going to encounter this work in 10 years? Is it still going to have some kind of relevance then? It sort of helps me to always think about what I need to maintain freshness, you know, like not to be trendy, but freshness. That's all the only word I can come up with.